Hello there. Decided to do a really quick walk around the aquaponics system. It's very much a mess at the moment. I just haven't had any time to spend down here. Um, so tomatoes, surprisingly, still going strong. I just pulled a couple of ripe ones off, and there's heaps very close. There's a bunch there, there's a bunch of little ones there. They're all over the shop. I don't know how many of these are actually going to go ripe. Bunch around the back here, all hidden amongst all the forest of tomato. But tomatoes themselves not looking particularly healthy anymore. The leaves are looking quite, I don't know whether that's leaf blight or some sort of disease, but I'm going to give that a good trim and hopefully reduce this mess. There's some basil going to flower. Otherwise, lettuce is doing quite well. Just walk around here. So I've got my lettuce forest back. Got leaves falling down from the trees above, which is always a pleasant thing to deal with in the middle of autumn or heading into winter. And I should still have 2 silver perch down in there. And I've still got about 10 or 12 trout in here. I don't think we can see them. They'll be hiding somewhere down the bottom. It looks pretty clear at the moment. Just only see some. There we go. Sprayed my other tank the other day just to try and get it ready. I'm supposed to be getting some trout, but there's been a few delays, so they're about 2 weeks behind. I haven't actually plumbed that in yet. Just decided to test my little air sprayer and spray it with some external paint. It was already pre-painted, but it had lots of scrapes and things that I just resprayed it again. That's just leftovers of the previous tenants in there, so just a bit of dried up algae. I'm really not going to bother cleaning that up. I might get the leaves out maybe. Had another pump die. Seems to be a once a year thing, so I buy these pumps about 80 bucks off eBay. This is my 6,500 litre. They don't actually sell these anymore, which is annoying. Luckily I generally keep a spare on hand. So I've got a 10,000 litre pump, and I've done a little bit of a replumb because I'm only running the one tank now. That's the spray bar up the top there. This pipe is the supply pipe, and that then comes up here. And the other tank used to sit very close to that, and used to have another spray bar coming off this into the tank. I'll put that back in place later. Because it's a 10,000 litre pump, I just put a little T-piece here with the ball valve that just recycles back into the tank, and I just balance that to have the appropriate amount of water going into the top tank there. There we go, you can see one of my perchies there. You can see the tail swinging in there. I have no idea whether they'll make it through this coming winter. I suspect not. I've had really terrible luck with silver perch. They generally die towards the end of winter. They get itch, and then they get a fungus, and then they cark it. Salinity in the system is down, so I've got strawberries again. They're fairly fresh. I got them right at the end of summer, but they've really taken off now that I've actually added iron into the system. Had a horrible iron deficiency for quite a while there. And I've started using the EDDHA, as you would have seen with my previous videos. And yeah, looks like my tape that I've used, that's an outdoor tape that I bought for greenhouse film and stuff like that, lasted for about 2 years, and now it's finally deteriorated in the sun and cracked, as you can see. So I'll need to check all my fittings, because I kind of use that instead of glue, just to give it a bit of extra hold. I generally feel that if you push the fittings on hard enough, they hold well enough on their own. but I just wanted to put a little bit of tape on because those this particular set here, so there's a pump inside this tank, goes up to T there, that has a ball valve that goes into the grow bed, and then I've got another one, same deal here for this grow bed. So these two grow beds run off these two sump tanks. This one's a half IBC, this one's a full IBC. I didn't want to dig as deep in this one, I was lazy. This one here is fed just off the fish tank. That does the solids filtering, goes into the sump, and then there's a little baby pump that continually pumps water into this tank here. That overflows into the sump. From the sump via this pipe, goes all the way along into this sump, and then there's an overflow going back all the way to the big sump in the ground. This is my little Frankenstein hack job. Basically, the idea is this grow bed will filter my solids. I used to have a solids filter here. Used to just be an RFF, so can't remember what it's called. Radial flow filter, that's it. Used to be a radial flow filter. I took that out for some repairs and I haven't been able to finish repairing it. So it's currently sitting dry over here with a fishing net in it. Once I can fix that up, I'll put that back in, because trout are dirty fish and they would clog this grow bed if I didn't put that RFF back in. But for the meantime, this does the solids filtering, and then the other beds just get essentially the nutrient-rich water and help with breaking down and using up the nitrates using the plant life. I would like to put more beds in. Haven't had the time or the inclination recently, but very soon the idea will be to actually expand this system all the way to the fence, and I'm actually thinking about pulling this sump back out and cleaning it, because I've had a few issues where you can see I had a bit of a flood and the soil has come in and it's caved that in, and with that's not a full IBC anymore. So I'm thinking I'll dig that all out, line this with something to prevent soil coming in, and really I need to do something to stop it all collapsing in. So there's quite a few holes in there now, and it's kind of digging in underneath, and that's not good for anybody. The last thing I'd want is for the hole to start collapsing in. But anyway, so I'm going to dig all that out, probably reinforce it, put a brand new IBC in there, and go from there. I do like the sump system. If I was doing it again, I would have spent a little bit more time on it. But at the time, like with most things to do with my aquaponics, it's done on a really tight budget, and generally on a really tight time frame, just because I'm very time poor and don't really have the budget for it. So that's my update. I just need to plumb the second tank in, add some more water, and then wait for my fish to arrive. So apparently John's been having some trouble with the hatchery, but anyway, that's that. Any questions, suggestions, let me know in the comments below.